What's up, guys? And welcome to another episode of Herb's Comic Book Journey. So, today, originally, I was gonna go ahead and look up do the story of the Watchmen, but I'm not even gonna lie. I am doing stuff once again at the last minute, and it is a long story. And I'm going to save that for another day because editing at the last minute has been kicking my ass. So I apologize on that. But like I said, I'm going to save that for a different day. But today I said, why don't I look up one of the best comics that's ever been printed, period. Not just with DC and Marvel, but just one of the best that's actually put out. And the one I'm going to go with today is The Death of Gwen Stacy. So, but before we get into that, I'm going to go ahead and tell you about our sponsors once again. First off, we're going to go with Phoenix Fit. As you all know, me and the other blurs have been dropping weight, gaining muscle, and doing a lot of stuff with Phoenix Fit. They're a great partner to work with. I've lost over 30. I lost 38 pounds. I've lost. Rita's lost some weight. Rick has also been just gaining muscle. Trey and Cam has lost weight. Well, Cam, he really doesn't have to lose weight in my opinion, but he's still healthy. But it's a great way to make you feel better mentally, physically. They have CBDs, they have whey proteins, they have pre-workout mix, stuff like that. So be sure to go on blursandwhiskey.com to go ahead and look under the sponsor and go ahead and look up Phoenix Fit. And make sure you put in the promo code FNXBlurs13 to get 15% off on all your products. Alrighty, so let's start this off. The Death of Gwen Stacy. This comic was put out in, I want to say, the early 70s, and a lot of things that I thought about on the way of actually reading this. So we start off from when Spider-Man comes back from Canada. Peter Parker makes his way back because he had a battle with the Hulk in the prior episode. I'm just thinking like, damn, he fought the Hulk. But okay. So as he gets back, he finds out that Harry Osborn actually had a mental breakdown. And he was in a state of depression, and he dropped acid. And at the time, and when Harry's dad, Norman Osborn, found out about it, he found out that Harry had clinical psychosis and schizophrenia, which is very, very major. But I mean, in my opinion, I mean, maybe I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but damn, you ain't had no black people to go ahead and say like, dude, you should just smoke weed and that'll be a little bit better, because acid is really strong. So, but I mean, anywho, besides the point, as the doctor basically tells him, Norman, what's going on, it just so happens that Gwen Stacy, Peter Parker's girlfriend, and Mary Jane Watson is there at the same time. So Norman blames all of them for that, but Peter comes and see that, hey, everybody's there, and he quickly goes back to his apartment, switches into just regular clothes, and on the way there, he just says, you know what, let me go hurry up and switch into my clothes. And then, but when he gets there, Norman sees Peter and basically saying like, dude, I told you not to come here. You're the reason why this happened to them. All of y'all need to go. In the midst of Norman yelling at Peter to get lost, I think it's kind of shitty that of a father of Norman, because he was like, look, I'm not going to go ahead and send my son to a hospital where he can get publicly shamed for having a mental breakdown. I mean, dude, fuck all that. I mean, I needed my son to get better. I don't give a fuck about any other public scrutiny or whatever. I realize this is the 70s and everything, but no, if you have a mental breakdown, please take your child to the fucking hospital. It's besides the point. Let's stay on. But in the midst of all this, Peter starts to think back at that last altercation as Norman was the Green Goblin. And he starts to think about, like, damn, his mental state maybe, his amnesia may be getting out of whack because he forgot that, what's the name? Norman forgot who his identity was, Green Goblin, and Spider-Man's identity. So he's really starting to get out of whack about it, and he's like, damn, I really got to do something about this. So still kind of pissed off at the world about what's going on with Harry. Norman goes ahead and pretty much fusses at his company because he feels like the people there are hemorrhaging money from his business. And it gets to a point to where Harry even hears him going off, and he goes to try to talk to him. And in the midst of him trying to talk to him, Harry pretty much stumbles to the ground, and Norman quickly calls his personal doctor to come and check up on Harry again. And still to this day, I'm still wondering, why the hell aren't you taking him to a fucking hospital? So Peter goes back to his job at the Daily Bugle, and he goes ahead and gives pictures of the fight that Spider-Man had with the Hulk in Canada. Still thinking to myself, why the fuck isn't anybody putting 2 and 2 together? Because if you're supposed to be in New York and then you go all the way to fucking Canada, and he's supposed to be following Spider-Man. So Spider-Man dropping a dime on, hey, I'm going to go over to such and such. And so I think you need to go and take pictures. I'm thinking, like, are these people fucking stupid? Back onto what we're talking about. Okay. So Peter gives the pictures to the Daily Bugle about Spider-Man having that confrontation with the Hulk. So he goes ahead but at the same time, he has a severe bug. He's getting like fever, dizziness, and all that other stuff. So he's like, look, I need to go home. I just want to get back to Gwen anyway, so I need to go ahead and take a nap. So, but he does, the quickest way that he can get home is dressing up as Spider-Man. He still is able to use his powers just to get all the way there. Going back to Norman, who's winning Father of the Year at this point, the doctor, his personal doctor, says still, there's nothing else I could really do. You need to get him to a hospital. Thank you. Somebody who actually has a fucking brain. Okay, he says, like, hey, there's nothing else I could do. You need to take him to the hospital right now. So as the doctor leaves, he starts to think about, like, I failed him as a father, but not to the extent of where I should have got his friends away from him. Realizing that he is just like, I really should have gotten him to taken care of sooner and getting rid of his friends. And then it gets to a point to where he's even having a mental breakdown himself. Both of these niggas need to go and see a fucking doctor, like, for real. But anywho, he goes back to the point to where he's like, look, I got to go ahead and do something about this. And the one thing that he's starting to think of is all the people around him is just after him, to the point to where he even hallucinates to see Spider-Man just sitting right there in front of him, which obviously he's not there. But he's just mentally just breaking down to the point to where he's like, nah, I got to do something about this. Even I got to go back and kill fucking Spider-Man, because he made me forget who I really am. I am the Green Goblin. So he goes and remembers where he left the Green Goblin suit. and he goes and says Spider-Man must die. In the midst of him saying this and getting on his glider and looking for Spider-Man, what's her name? Gwen is actually at Peter's place waiting on him to get home. And yeah, Green Goblin sees her there and kidnaps her. So Peter finally makes it home dressed as Spider-Man, only to open up the window and see that Gwen's purse that he got her for Christmas and Green Goblin's pumpkin bomb is still standing there. So he gets to get out, find where Gwen Stacy is with Green Goblin, but he uses his spider sense to find out exactly where they're at. Only to find out, which is kind of funny because they fucked it up in editing. They said it was at the George Washington Bridge when really it's the Brooklyn Bridge. So Green Goblin says he finally sees Spidey. Spidey's like, dude, give me my girl back. He said, no, you're going to die. And if you don't bring yourself over here, I'm going to kill this bitch. And he doesn't say that, but I mean, he's basically saying like, yeah, I'm a killer. So all right, in the midst of all this, they go back and forth. Spidey lands a few good punches. Green Goblin throws a few bombs and throws them off and everything. Spidey finally knocks him off of his glider, trying to get back and gets back to Stacy. Green Goblin gets back onto his glider and rams himself into Spidey and Gwen. Gwen falls all the way down off of the bridge, only for Spidey to go ahead and fling his web and catches her. Only thing is, you hear a snap sound. And he brings her back up to the top of the bridge, making sure that she's okay. And he's like, man, I outdid myself this time. And Green Goblin says to him, like, no, she's dead. So, yeah, and he finally, like, just looks down on her and realizes that she's not breathing and she's dead. Now, Green Goblin says at some point, like, nah, she's been dead before you even got here. But do we really know if that was the case or not? Because he's been real delusional all this time and everything. And yeah, Spider-Man looks down on her and he's like, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. And yeah, it's just it's depressing. And that's pretty much the end of this story. Now there is a part 2 to it, but we're really not gonna get into that. The reason why I did this story is because at the time this is one of the biggest stories that's ever been made, because you had a character of Gwen Stacy who is Peter Parker's love and everything, and you had a major character who died, and you're not used to seeing that at that time. So for you to actually see, like, damn, this is the death of Gwen Stacy, a major character to the story is killed, and then on top of that, they said on the cover, like, somebody's going to die in this comic. They never said exactly who it was, literally until the end of the story. So this is a really intriguing story. I also think, as far as, like, people, if you have mental health issues, please get checked out. I'm not even joking about this, because mental illness is a serious thing. Please get checked out. If you feel in a certain type of way, depression or anything like that, get checked out ASAP. And yeah, this story was really a struggle. Speaking of struggle, hey, that's a great segue. Let's talk about the second sponsor, which is near and dear to my heart and the rest of us. Beard struggle. If you want your beard to look really good like mine, Trey, everybody else is on the panel, except Rita, because she doesn't have a beard. But yeah, if you want your beard to look just as good as ours, be sure to go on blurredsandwhiskey.com and check out under the sponsors, The Beard Struggle. The Beard Struggle has been really good to us. Made my beard look good, feel good, look good, and everything like that. Smells good. Even they have different fragrances. They have beard balm, scruff bombs. They have what's the name? Shampoo and conditioners, heat combs. They have the spray to put on for the heat comb, just in case it doesn't damage your hair and everything. So be sure to check them out. Be sure to go on blurredsandwhiskey.com, check under the sponsors, click under there, and put in the promo code BLURREDS1 to get 15% off on all your products. And that concludes this week's Herb's Comic Book Journey. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be sure to tell you guys more on the next comic. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Talk to you later. Peace.